That's not the only incentive scheme or incentive system that we have. We have other, just like we understood before, that we can have the incentive schemes on the result basis and also on the work done basis, and also we have the classification for individual and group bonus system or group incentive scheme. So I will be going through one by one that what are the different schemes that we have, and I will be completing the result based incentive schemes first. Okay, and in that I'll be talking about the individual schemes first of all. That's the major area of the labor costing in terms of incentive schemes, that we will be calculating individual incentives under result basis and also the group incentives under result basis, and then afterwards in the end we'll be talking about how to calculate incentives or what kind of incentives employees will be having if their wage is calculated on the basis of work done. Okay. Okay, if we talk about the individual incentive schemes, we have three of the renowned systems, which is Halsey system, Halsey-Weir system, and then the Rowan system. Rowan system gives us two derivations. There are two techniques that Rowan has identified, and we'll be looking at these four methodologies in total to calculate the bonus or the incentive in addition to the basic pay or the overtime pay the employee is going to receive as part of his salary or wages. But remember one thing, that all these three methodologies or four methodologies in total are based on the concept of time saved. That is the result, they are all result based. So what we'll be doing is we'll be calculating time saved by comparing the time taken and time allowed. And how do you calculate time taken and time allowed? Most of the time in the question you will be given straightforward how much time has been taken, or you can calculate by on the basis of the number of units that you have produced. Okay, whereas in case of time allowed, what you will have to do is you will have to look at the actual output, and you'll have to consider that how much time the actual output should have taken on the basis of standard. So that means every question, if it is based on the result basis, they will be giving you information regarding the set time period to do a certain amount of job. Okay, that means every question will be clearly telling you that for a certain set of work, how much time was allowed to the number of employees or an employee, and then you will be given an information that how much work he has done or how much time he has taken actually to do a certain amount of work. Now, in all of these situations or all these methods, if the time taken, okay, is more than the time allowed, it should be time allowed minus time taken. Just a correction. If the time taken is more than the time allowed, then there will be no bonus and you will be paying a straight wage. There will be no incentive at all. However, if the time allowed comes more than the time taken, then it means that he has saved time. He has done more work in lesser amount of time. And for that, we'll be calculating the bonus for him that will be paid in addition to basic pay and overtime premium or overtime pay, in other words. And we have four different bases to calculate the bonus, as we have seen, as we can see here. Now let's do one question together and we'll understand how are we going to calculate the bonuses using these three methods or four methods in total. Alright, here we have one question. Let me read it first, and then I will be coming to the discussion and how are we going to approach and solve this question. Speedmaster and Swiftmaster are known for their efficiency among other employees. This period they were allowed a total of 40 hours each. That means both of them were given 40 hours separately to complete a job of producing 200 units of vanilla chocolate mix. Speedmaster was asked to completely cover 40 hours even if he produces 200 units before time, and thus he was able to produce 260 units in 40 hours time. Swiftmaster, on the other hand, had to attend wedding and requested supervisor that he will only be attending production floor until producing 200 units, which he was able to produce in 32 hours only. No overtime was worked during the period. Employees are paid $6 per hour. Calculate the gross pay of employees in the following methods. Okay, in this question we have two employees and the way they are working and the output is a bit different from each other. Speedmaster worked for total 40 hours and he was able to produce more than required number of units, that is 260 units. Whereas Swiftmaster only produced the required number of units and he was able to finish the work in lesser time, that is much lesser, by 8 hours, and he was able to finish things before 40 hours were complete. Now the question in the exam can come in both of these fashions. Either you are giving more number of units for standard work of time, or you are given a standard number of units for given number of hours. Okay, and how are we supposed to calculate the time saved in this situation? This is what we need to learn, because if we can calculate time saved, only then we'll be able to apply the three different schemes we have, and only then we'll have the value for bonus, and which will helping us in calculating gross pay. Because, and again, if we are unable to calculate time saved, we won't be able to calculate anything further. So let's see. In case of Speedmaster, time saved is calculated again as time taken minus, time allowed minus time taken. Okay. Now in order to calculate the time allowed for 60 units, because that is what an actual output was, right? He took, how much time was actually allowed on the basis of standard. Standard time was to produce 200 units, it was 40 hours. Okay, so we need standard rate of time or standard time. Now in order to calculate the standard time, we'll be dividing 200 units over 40 hours, and comes up that every hour you are producing 5 units per hour. Okay. Right, so if we are producing 5 units each hour, then how many hours 260 number of units are going to take? It will be 52 hours. Now if it is a bit confusing for you that how have I made the calculation, then you can calculate the standard time like this as well. 40 hours. Okay, and in this we were supposed to produce 200 units, so each unit is supposed to take 0.2 hours. Okay, now in order to produce 260 units, you need 52 hours. But how many hours has actually been taken by that person? Well, he does that work in only 40 hours. Okay, he was allowed on the basis of the actual output. He was supposed to complete it in 52 hours, but the time taken by him was 40 hours. So now we can calculate the time saved, which is 52 minus 40 equals 12 hours. He has saved 12 hours worth of work by increasing his efficiency over time. Okay. Looking on to the Swiftmaster, however, it's fairly really simple. Okay, that is that he produced 200 units and he took 32 hours. Okay, so in that case, the time saved will be time allowed to produce 200 units and the time taken by him to produce the same number of units. He was allowed 40 hours, but he took only 32, right? So he saved 8 hours. Okay, now we can calculate the wages. First of all, we'll be calculating the gross pay of Speedmaster. Well, for that, the basic pay, first of all, will be number of hours he worked, which is 40 hours, and he was paid at $6 per hour. So he was getting $240 as the basic pay. Whereas in addition to bonus, well, if his bonus is calculated in a Halsey scheme, okay, then he is allowed at 50% rate, right? 50% of time saved. So let's see how we're going to calculate this. He saved 12 hours, so 50% of this multiplied by the time wages, that is the $6. He'll be paid for this at the same rate, which is $6, the basic rate of pay. Okay, and for this he get $36. Okay, and this way he will be paid for at $276 will be his gross pay. Alright. However, if his calculation is based on Halsey, which is 1/3% of the time saved, then in that case the basic pay is going to be the same. This is not going to be any different. 40 multiplied by 6 gives us 240. Okay, and the bonus will be, according to Halsey system, this calculation is going to be number of hours saved, which is 12. Okay, multiplied by 33, 1/3%. Okay, and then multiplied by 6. Let's make some room. Now 1/3 is actually can be written like this: 12 multiplied by 33.3333 recurring. So you are going to put in the calculator as many threes as you can and then multiply it with 6, and if you do it, what you are going to get to, and yes, sorry about that, it's not actually, it should be like this. Okay, 33 1/3%, right? So don't do that mistake. So 12 multiplied by 0.333 multiplied by 6, you get 24. Okay, and in this case the gross pay will be 264, right? However, if we continue our calculation and calculate under Rowan scheme, basic pay again will stay the same. There will be no difference in it. Okay, It will be 240. Whereas the bonus Rowan scheme, which is based on method 1. Now again we know that under Rowan scheme even we have two methods. So applying the first one, which basically says that you will be applying this formula, time taken multiplied by time saved, and you then divide it over time allowed. Okay, and then multiply this with your hourly wage rate. So this is the formula for calculating the bonus under Rowan's method 1. Okay, so just put in the values. We'll be getting time taken was 40 hours, time saved 12 hours, and time allowed was 52 hours. Okay, and your basic wage rate is 6. So if you calculate this, then the amount you get is 55. Okay, and in this case your gross pay will be sum of 240 and 55, which comes up 295. Okay, now this is the first method. What about the second method? In the second method, however, it is percentage of time saved. Now it's left on the entity. It's up to the management to decide at what percentage they want to offer to an employee as an incentive. Okay, for example, in wholesale, it was 50% of the time saved. It can be different. It can be 20%, it can be 60, 70, 80, or anything. Okay, so whatever percentage supervisor or the management is going to decide that they will be offering as an incentive to an employee, the same will be used to calculate the bonus. Now suppose here they said that 80% of the time saved will be paid as bonus. And in this case, their bonus pay will still be the same, just 240. There is not going to be any difference. Okay, and this is Rowan method 2. And as I said, 80% of the time saved will be given as an incentive. So 12 is the time saved, 0.8 is the percentage, and 6 is the rate. Okay, so if we just calculate this, we'll get 57.6. So sum it out, it comes up 58, right? And in this case, your gross pay, or the gross pay of Speedmaster, will be 298. Now on the same basis, you can calculate the gross pay of Swiftmaster. I'm giving you 10 minutes to calculate this, and after that I will be doing the question right on the whiteboard. Okay, I hope you people can get the calculations regarding Swiftmaster, and it's really easy. That you already have the number of hours that have been saved. You just have to put in the values and you will get the answer for the gross pay. Okay, but one thing that we really need to understand, that in case of Swiftmaster, we'll be calculating basic pay only on 32 hours basis, because he worked only for 32 hours and he left the job. Okay, he went to wedding, so he won't be paid at 40 hours. It will be paid only for 32 hours. The rest of the calculation is almost going to be the same. You just have to change the values. Here it will be 8. Here also it's going to be 8. Here also it will be 8, and here it will be 40. Okay, and here also you're putting the value of 8, and you then just put in the values and calculate, and you will get the gross pay. But again, remember one thing, that he will be paid the basic pay on 32 hours basis.